When you're meeting with a for sale by owner or an expired or any listing, the you probably find yourself in a competitive situation. Let's never assume, even if it's your friend having you come over, that they're not talking with other agents as well. The so what we want you to do is always have relevant data. Does that mean a full-blown market analysis? Probably not. Most initial walkthroughs with seller, even if you did bring your analysis, if you haven't seen the inside of the house, the condition, you know the condition of the market, but you don't know the condition of the property. You also don't know the motivation sometimes of the seller. So this is about selling you when you're at this initial walkthrough. Your perspective when you're walking through, I've often said to sellers, I'm here kind of like an appraiser. How would appraiser determine your market value? And I'm not a building inspector, but I'm often looking at the property like if I were, are there any things that I could point out to you right now? And but also looking as kind of a listing agent, my job is to determine, kind of defend your price. So that's a lot of my opening recommendations for you when you get to the property and bringing relevant information, which we're going to cover here in the following videos. Should always bring their tax record. You got to see what the AVM says. You also need to see if the square footage is right, because sometimes it's not. You've got to see if the existing home address of the subject property is different than the billable mailing address for the property for taxes, which means it's a rental property or was inherited. You also want to be looking to see if the property was a divorce recently, because you see a quitclaim deed. Wow, there's some great stuff you can see on the tax record. Then, of course, you'll see the video. It's called the move up report, which tells you how healthy the market is below the subject properties. So if the house is 500, you're going to see how healthy it is below it, maybe in the 350 to 400 range. What are the active versus under contracts? It's really important to understand, is the market flowing in the price range below the subject property? And the reason is, if that one's doing bad below the subject property, then the subject itself is probably doing worse. But take a look at that video. We're also looking at other relevant information that if it's a buy, owner, and expired, sometimes you're going to be bringing your trusty LO list with 3 LOs on it. Why? You want to be able to give to the buy owner an assignment. So watch that video where you're going to have the buy owner. Remember, you want to tell the buy owner, stay the course. You're going to do this. You're going to be able to do it. But when you give them the LO list and say there's 3 LOs on here, and these LOs collectively probably have about 40 pre-approved buyers. If you reach out to them, they may have a buyer. Your buyer could be on this list. Same with the move-up list. They're moving and you're selling, contact them. So the so just look at the videos below and see why you're bringing the old MLS printout, why you're bringing their Zillow screen snapshot. So we want you to win these interviews, and not every agent, no offense, is competent in the eyes of the seller. You may feel competent, but if they're going with somebody else, they thought somebody else was more competent. And you kind of go, why didn't I get the listing? Well, the seller was the judge. So we want to eliminate the losses and increase the probability. And I hope you take no shortcuts ever, saying, I just ran out there, I didn't have enough time. Well, there's only one opportunity to make a first impression. Thank you.